Hey, welcome back everybody. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but today we are working on our Cirrus Craftsman tractor. It's got an issue with the brake. There she is. So in here, granted I've already been working on this, took the tire off. This is right here. Basically how that comes off is the C-clip and a washer. If yours is seized onto this shaft, don't beat on it with a hammer on the backside. You'll rip out the snap ring inside the transmission. On your inside, there's two holes in here. I don't know if it'll fit there long enough. So in here and there's one up there. So you take a big piece of hard steel or a puller, push against your axle, and pull on your tire. Worst case, you need to put some heat to it. You can, on the back side, maybe put a little bit of heat in here around it if you have to. But if you beat on it, you will rip this axle out of here. I haven't done it, but I know it will. So make sure you do that. If yours does slide off, put some Never See, some grease or something on there. Make sure it keeps coming off right on a normal, regular basis. I'm thinking about just doing the other side since this side came off so nice. But back to the original thing here. Let me turn you guys around and get you set up. And here is your brake mechanism. This lever pulls, pushes two pins that are in here on the brake pad. Now I've already put it back together a little bit here, so let me pull this back off. It's not very hard to do. Don't cross thread your bolts. Is that in here? These are your little brake pads. Now you can get these on Amazon, from what I've been told. I haven't ordered any. What I'm going to do is, considering, I don't know if you could see it, it's not wore flat. So I'm going to put the higher side in front, since that was the side that wore out the soonest. And in here, there's a piece of sheet metal. That's your pusher plate. And inside, see, there's two pins in there. Those pins push on that plate. So when this mechanism rotates, these pins come out, hits this plate, which pushes this out, which pushes into your little rotor. Make sure I put that back in the right way here. Okay. And then it's probably going to fall out on me. And here's your little rotor. There's also a keyway in there, so that might fall out. And since this one wore down the same thing, I'm flipping this over. And then what I also did is I put a piece of sheet metal behind it to push it out a little bit. So I just made a piece of sheet metal. I stuck it in here. I cleaned all the crap out of here too as well. And you just put your rotor back on. My keyway fell out. Come on. There. And this should sit about flush in here. I don't know if you can pick that up, but once you got that done, you just put this back in here. Now if this doesn't work, you'll have to get new brake pads. I don't know if it's going to work. I haven't done it yet on this one. And then you just put all this back up in here. Like I said, you might have to reduce the tension on this to do this. I'm trying to avoid it. It doesn't take much to cross thread this stuff, so make sure everything's started good. There are some cases where this stuff won't come out. I've had these bolts seized up in here, things like that, so go gentle. And we'll use some heat if you have to. Doesn't take much to tighten these up. And once it's in there, it looks like this. And since I think I have the brake on, yeah. Take the brake off, it's easier. And this just kind of floats in here. Now I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up. So if you actually watch the rotor, and the camera's not going to pick that up. It moves too slightly for you. And when I do this, that rotor actually gets pushed over ever so slightly, enough to put the brake on the transmission to stop your wheels from turning. So one, you can stop, and two, you can shift gears. So since that's all done, I'll leave that alone. Now you might be able to adjust that up, the spring tension, if you have to, but keep in mind, if you adjust this up and you don't got enough pad left back there, you can actually start grinding into your aluminum housings. So check before you tighten. So I want to get the front tire back on and set you guys up if you want to do that, I suppose. Let's see, recap, I tighten those, put the pins in. There you go, I can show you guys that. Back in here, see how that rotor can move? You make sure it floats, because if it doesn't float, it's not going to brake well. So, here's the tire. Yeah, there's all kinds of junk in this thing. If you don't line it up just right, the keyway falls off. Yeah, like mine just did. Try that again. Okay. Now, put the washer and ring on. Okay, and then you got your cap. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. I don't know, how did I get that off? Oh, I don't know. Probably why it was so hard to get off. Yours may not even have some of this on it. You might actually have bolt-on wheels too. Your higher end tractors actually have bolt-on wheels, which is a lot nicer. There it goes. So there's that. put the counterweight in, which is basically ATV hitch, bolted here, welded up there, and lifting weights from, for us, for humans. Use a unistrut, and then it goes in there. Add 50 pounds of weight to the rear end. So let's see if it works here. I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Alright, so not tight enough. Brakes engaged. I can still turn my wheels. I shouldn't be able to move these. So pull the tire back off and see what happens. Or see if I have to push it out some more. Alright, so what I ended up doing, I had to tighten up our spring in here. That on that rod right here. I showed you earlier, that big spring that pushes. I tightened that up probably about a ½ inch. Now my brake is better. What I want to do, I'll pull the tire back off. I'm going to add one more plate behind the pusher. Push it out a little more. Because I got my the pivoting arm that pushes on the brake pads about vertical. And that's about as much throw you're going to get. Because once you go to a certain point, it no longer pushes up. So I'm probably going to put one more plate in there. We'll run it. Once these wear out this last time, we'll just get new ones. So I guess you can watch me record again. I'm just using a pick. Watch where the spring flies. For your retainer clip. Better view here. Your braking off. Yeah, this is what I was tightening up. You got a little bit of play left, but when that pedal is being fully depressed, we're almost vertical. So we're gonna add a little more. What side did I want to do that on? Technically, I probably should just replace these. They've got like never seen on my face. So I'm gonna go cut one more little plate here. I think this is like 14 gauge or something. That fits. Plate is in there. This is a 1/2 inch for the bolts, 9/16 for those nuts to tighten them. I don't want to overdo it because you don't want your brake to be on. The only downside to never seizing everything is that things are so loose they don't want to stay on. Guys up. Tilt your bag up. might actually have to adjust my bracket down a little bit in here. It seems to be pulling a little too much pedal. Like I'm over pushing my bracket now. But that's basically it. You just adjust your bracket. You get new brake pads if you need them. If you don't need pads, like I said, you can flip them over. You can put spaces in them. If you put spaces in them, yeah, it'll buy you more time, but you should buy new ones. Like I said, we're probably looking to buying new ones. I just want to get some time out of these yet, because you know we're in the snow season, and I gotta get them bought. But at least I know all this can come apart, everything works, so I'm going to let it go for a little while, and then we'll just replace them. But that's pretty much going to be it for this video on fixing your Sears Craftsman brakes or servicing them. So until next time, thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.